All right, y'all. Welcome back to Camp Shack Productions. Tonight is Halloween. It is actually October 31st at 11:35, and I am here at the Mountain Meadows Massacre site. I thought this would be an excellent night to see what goes on out here. There's a couple different sites that I'm going to be visiting, and I'm starting with the main memorial, which if you don't know anything about the Mountain Massacre, we'll learn a little bit tonight, but it's a crazy story. 140 people lost their lives, and some really interesting history and a really interesting cover-up. So I thought I'd spend tonight checking it out, taking you along with me. So I want you guys to tell me what you think. It's Halloween night. We're out here at the Mountain Meadows Massacre mass grave burial. Pretty good place to do some ghost hunting, right? Also, this place has a ton of exceptionally interesting history. There's a lot of stuff as a person brought up and raised in Utah. I went to school here. There's a lot of this history that when you start to actually look into the truth behind it, that was left out of what they taught us. So that makes me wonder if, because these people that were here were innocently slaughtered, because we've tried to cover up that history to protect the name of the Mormon Church, and we also tried to blame this on native people here in the area. So there's just a whole lot going on, and I'm really interested to see if anything crops up here tonight while we're hunting the ghosts. But we're going to wander around and check it all out, so it could be interesting. That's not ominous. So it's a massive mound. And a giant stone wall surrounding it. Creepy. Got a little flag action. All right, so we are going to just do a silent moment. I'm gonna go set the microphone down and just listen. So apparently this mound is part of the mass grave that has been blocked by the LDS Church multiple times from being studied and dug up. So let's see what happens. Over 140 people. All right, guys. So what I'm getting ready to do next is going to set up this laser grid here. And what this does is it will put a field around, and the theory is that if something breaks that field, you'll see it in the camera through the laser light. So just one of my buddies was like, what are you using the light for? It's again, so if something comes in front of that, you can see the light move. So we're going to set this up and do a little EVP session. All right, y'all. So I have been sitting here at the mass grave for over an hour. Done a lot of just kind of sitting in silence, did a few EVP sessions on my phone, set up the laser grid, did some flash photography, so we'll see. So far, it's been quiet. It's starting to get cold, that's for sure. So, gonna wander around and check out a few more things here at the site, and then we'll just investigate for the night. All right, see you guys in a few. So, there's a trail, and there's just meadow in the middle. That's the memorial. And then there's this hillside right here. And I keep hearing noises coming off the hillside. Can't really explore much outside of the trail. Don't want to be a bad steward, especially since it's the fragile desert in the middle of the night. And every sign asks you to stay on the trail. So I'm going to stick to those, and we'll see what we can find tonight. But you can just see there's just meadow. And just strange noises cropping up everywhere. Yeah, strange sounds all over the place. It's actually kind of freaking me out. That's the first time that's ever happened. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what actually happened up here. So there was a group of settlers from Arkansas that were coming through Utah trying to make it to California. And at that time, Brigham Young thought that the federal government was out to get him based on the choices of the church supporting polygamy. So a group of Mormon settlers, and the history is a little muddled, but they joined up with a group of Paiute Indians and came and actually attacked the settlement. Now, what they did is they actually dressed up as Native Americans, and they did a lot of the actual killing. Again, everyone above the age of 7 was killed under a blood atonement, which the church felt that God had given them the right to kill people based on them needing to stop being a sinner, and instead of furthering their sins, they could just hang out and kill them so that they wouldn't sin further. There was a group of an all-Mormon jury that convicted John D. Lee of the crime, and he was the only person to pay a punishment, and he also was actually hung right here on this site. So there's a lot of speculation as to, did Brigham Young order this to take place? There is also a lot of speculation as to whether the Paiutes actually helped at all, or if they refused and the LDS people just chose to go out and dress up as Paiute Indians and kill everyone so that they could blame it on them. The Mormon Church never suffered any consequences from the federal government for this, and they also basically got away with blaming it on the Paiutes. And like I said, only one man for killing 140 people was brought to justice. John D. Lee was hung here on this field. So, pretty crazy stories. This place is creepy. Creepy, creepy, creepy. All right, y'all. It is about 3 o'clock in the morning. I am going to do a question and answer session in front of the mass grave here. Is there anyone here with me? If you're here and you want to speak to me, I have this little white thing in my hand. All you have to do is speak into it. Is there anyone here with me right now? Why are you still here? Do you have anything you want to say to the people that were left behind, or maybe the people that did this to you? you think you'll ever be able to leave this place? Can you tell me your names? I can hear some cars on the highway back behind me here, and every once in a while the flagpole will kitch and just make that clunk. It's a little unsettling. I've been wandering around the field just in circles. There's a trail that goes around it. Once it gets light, I'll show you a little more, but sitting on benches, turning lights off, sitting in the dark, looking, listening, just kind of observing. I need to find a camera that I can film in the dark with so that I can actually show you guys. So, all right. Well, I am going to probably just kind of turn off some lights here, sit here, and just listen for the next little while. Maybe do a phone EVP. So, yeah. All right. The meadow is behind me. The mass grave is over my shoulder. It's around 4:15. The sun is going to start coming up in the next little while. So I'm just going to give it a second here and see what happens. Again, if you're with me and you want to speak to me or anyone else, this little white box will record what you're saying. It'll capture your voice so I can share it. Is there anyone in the meadow with me tonight? Can you tell us your name? Are you trapped here? Are the Mormons responsible for your death? Is there anything at all you would like to tell us? It's cold. This, over by these big goofy trees, is one of the creepier spots. Not to mention, there's a creek that runs right behind me here. So it's got to be 10 degrees cooler than it is all around the rest of the memorial here. So it's just weird, but it's also a place where there's a lot of ambient noises, so I didn't really find anything. According to my watch, I've walked around this thing enough to equal about 5.5 miles. So I just did circles, sat on benches, stopped and stared. And but this is definitely a place where the temperature is cold. It has a creepy vibe, but once you sit here in the dark, you just hear nature. So, interesting. All right. All right, so ended up spending the night here at the Meadows Massacre site, and just a crazy place. Most definitely one of the strangest places I have ever been. I didn't really see anything, but I definitely heard a lot, and there's just a very creepy vibe. I mean, being here, standing next to a grave site where there's upwards of 140 people buried it's just unnerving. And last night I definitely had a hard time just kind of being easy here. And that's not normally me. I am usually Team Shane. I don't get afraid of things. But it was just something strange last night. It was a really weird vibe. So I definitely think there's something going on here. I would like to come back when I have a better camera that can actually see a little bit more in the dark, so I can show you guys a little bit more instead of just blackness and me talking. But a very, very interesting place, and someplace I would highly recommend coming to visit. And if you're feeling up to it, do your own ghost hunt here. It's pretty cool. And the sunrise this morning is just absolutely amazing. So got that going for me. Yeah. So that was the overnight at the Meadows Massacre site. A lot of people like to call it the Mormon Meadows Massacre site, because again, so much damage was done. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go down, hit the like button. If you're feeling really generous, you can subscribe to us. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Be well, my friends.